Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of Sass and the Beard. It's been a while, and we promise that in this episode, we will totally bleep random innocuous words that are not curse words.
Yeah. Just the random
definitely
words.
not the curse words. You should know this is, probably not safe for work, but definitely safe for you to listen to while you're in your car, because you need to know.
But don't watch while you're in your car.
Yeah, don't watch.
Just
listen. So yeah, Kristen, how's it going?
Man, it's fucking trash out here. I don't know.
Oh, definitely trash. There is trash.
I didn't even mean that around the topic. It's just how I feel about the state right now. I feel like the state's on fire and nobody knows it.
I would say that could be true for like Earth as a whole, maybe. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on in the world. Some of those things can make us stressed. I have been known to be in the scrolling doom scroll of TikTok or Facebook, or I don't even look at the other ones because it's just a lot for empaths.
It can be a lot, yeah, for sure.
That, like the show, if you're full of empathy for other people and don't know what to do with yourself because of the way the world is.
Or if you're like me, you can like it anyway. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. So, Senator Elliott, we were at a thing last night, and she was like, yeah, we can't run on anger and rage for the next 10 years. And I was like, but I'm going to try.
I mean, I can live off of
I'm
it.
sure trying.
Why can't we?
Are you sure about that? Maybe you can't. It's served me well for a long time now.
She's tired. She's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce, for all the hard work that you did in your life with. There's some things going on locally that I'm sure we're all concerned about.
We did just begin the third round of the Hunger Games.
Yes.
Or the casino application period, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. May the odds be ever
in Legends' favor.
In Legends' favor. Yes. We are Legends stan here at Sass and the Beard. They've
just been such good community partners. Like it's just been so good.
Not because they give us any money. We keep, we're trying to get sponsors, but we think they have the best opportunity.
Speaking of sponsors, I love our golden ass.
Somebody came by my business today and was talking about how excited they were about the growth and the progress going on downtown, and they said Plant Parlor specifically was like one of the things that they saw. They were like,
excited
this plant store downtown, that place is awesome.
It is. It is awesome.
Yeah, that's what they said. I was pretty excited. I was like, yeah, they are awesome.
Yeah, and they put up with our bullshit. So
for real,
that
definitely makes them more awesome for putting up with us. We have chosen to use their merchandise to sponsor our award for the Golden Ass at the end of the show. For those of you who are just now tuning in to us and have never seen us before, let us know who you think deserves the Golden Ass. Also, we want to shout out to Retro Roast and Dog Ear Books because they are wonderful partners.
I went non-caffeinated this week because I'm really tired.
Because you're full on alcoholic.
It is just a minor touch of the alcoholic. Ma'am, sir, calm down. No, this time I did. This is the blueberry pomegranate lemonade, and it is so freaking good. Did I pour the little last of my sangria in it? Maybe. But it was just because I'm not wasteful, and I wanted to be efficient with one cup.
But now, if you're in the entertainment district, you can walk outside with that sangria lemonade. My
recommendation is go get you a lemonade, and then go to the taco place and get you a sangria and combine them.
Yeah. Taco, also not a sponsor of our show.
Yeah. You can call it the Kristen. Yeah. Somebody should trademark that.
Yes.
It's me.
So, Kristen, sometimes we got to talk about trash. Like, this is trash talk. the name of this episode because occasionally we actually trash talk the local governments that we disagree with occasionally. But literally we are going to talk about trash in this week's episode.
I'm tired of talking about trash.
I know.
You know what? I live over in Dardanelle. My trash comes every Tuesday. Picks up.
Hey, who do you know the name of the company that picks up your trash?
I really don't. You know why I don't know? Because
I know the name.
You know why I don't know? Because they always pick up my trash.
Right. Yeah,
if they didn't pick it up, I would sure know the name of it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, who do I need to call? But because they always show up and get it, I have no idea who it is.
So the company that picks up trash in Dardanelle is one of the companies that the city council will be considering in their bid. They actually provided the lowest bid. Yeah. So basically, just for background purposes, beginning sometime last year, the city of Russellville started receiving complaints from customers frustrated with waste management. And when I say started receiving complaints, I mean an innumerable amount of complaints.
Swell of complaints began.
Some might say a shit ton of
metric
complaints.
Or imperial?
Well, we are in the United States, so not metric.
I prefer the metric.
Me too. We use the metric system at my job.
Shit
so
tons.
yeah,
I think that you should use the metric shit ton. Yes.
Okay, so a lot of complaints. Like personally, I have been told more than 15 complaints a day. Wow. Which is a lot. Like a day, that's a lot. And these are coming into the city. So like waste management isn't
I'm sure they're getting calls too.
Well, but they don't have to because they just hold please.
Is that what happens?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's going to be what I start doing to people when they call, and I'm not sure I want to deal with them. I'm just gonna be like, hold please, and never come back.
Right. But our citizens are forced to pay them, which neither here nor there. We don't have to start that whole conversation because it's not even going to be a decision. Like we have to choose a single provider. However, so there are 3 companies that have, we tried to let Waste Management kind of fix the issue. We met with them many times over the course of the last kind of 6-8 months and given them multiple opportunities to come to us and say, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's the problem. Here's what we're going to do to fix it. And without even really, they didn't do a whole lot. They said a lot of words, but then their actions really kind of didn't back up the words that they said.
Maybe they should run for office.
It kind of hurts me that you said that.
I'm sorry. It's been a while.
That's why I ran for office.
I've been spending too much time with the state legislature, and so I'm a little jaded right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, so there have been several work sessions on like what a contract may look like, what we want in bid proposals. And the way this is going to work is that tomorrow night's a city council meeting. We have already reviewed the bid proposals. And I imagine this is how it's going to work. But in the finance meeting, we will decide whether or not to send those bid proposals to the full council. And then if that is the case, if we do send it to the full council by the end of the city council meeting in the new business section, we will vote on one of the 3 companies that have provided bids.
So this is the time for people to show up and flip tables.
There's been a lot of
or
table
like just
flipping.
Bring their bags of trash in and be like, I protest.
No.
Like I can get creative with this.
No, because like we're really trying. Like if we hadn't been trying to fix the problem, I'm about a protest. Like if you got problems, I'll protest. Like let's do it.
I just want to make problems on purpose, Nathan. So
however,
I'm coming in with my bags of trash from Dardanelle.
like we're trying to fix the problem. So like
cool.
all of the council members are like, yeah, we want to fix this issue.
But so real talk, like, are there proposals available for people to look at online? Are they like, what? So like, if the public has an opinion on this, if they're like, no, I have friends that live in Dardanelle and I don't like that company. I wouldn't say that because I do like the company, but like, whatever. Like, for whatever
I would
reason,
say call your council member like today or tomorrow,
Okay.
and be like, hey, the three companies are Waste Management, LRS, which is a local trash company. They have a local office here.
Okay.
They are not based out of Russellville, but they have a local office here. And then the third company, the one that has the Dardanelle contract, their name is Cards, CARDS, and they are a Arkansas company that they also have outside of the state trash contracts. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I was looking to see because I know I got a text about the agenda earlier. I was looking to see if it listed them on the.
I would say
agenda.
both Cards and LRS have a Arkansas stake. I can't really speak to Waste Management, obviously, because the only real experience I have with them is the negative experiences that we've had over the last year. But I know that LRS does, sponsors different events going on, and I'm sure Cards does things in Dardanelle where they hold. And it's not just about that. Like, that's not all it's about. Like, we want them to pick up the trash.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to, like, if there's an issue, this is the person we can call to say, hey,
Yeah.
you didn't pick up the trash at Miss Johnson's stop.
Right. Yeah.
Can you go get that, please?
Yeah, and I've had that once in Dardanelle where like I called up and was like, "Hey, y'all missed my trash. Like I don't know what happened here."
Right.
And they were like, "We'll be right back." Like it
Yeah.
was like no big deal. But yeah, so I get you. Well, I mean, I don't have any skin in the game on which one y'all choose. I just I think people will be glad to see that there's like action happening on it because
Right.
I know people have been really frustrated.
I've had several people call me with their preference. So if you have a preference, I'm not saying I'll vote the way you want me to vote. I'm going to look at the data and figure out, to me what the best. Like, I don't have a stake in it either. So, like, whichever one you prefer, let us know, because at this point, I wouldn't say anybody has a personal stake in whichever one is chosen.
So Bobby had a good question. Said, so if the council votes to take the lowest bid, and if it's Waste Management, we're in the same mess again.
Waste Management is not the lowest bid.
Okay.
There are some rules that state that on a contract like this, the city should prioritize the lowest bid. But if there is I forget what the language is, but if it can be explained why
like a
we chose
justifiable
another
reason.
one. Yeah. But Waste Management was the highest of the three. So I think mostly because they don't want to do it anymore.
I'm surprised they submitted one. I'm surprised they weren't just like, we're out.
Like deuces. If
screw
y'all
you guys,
choose
yeah.
at your own risk.
Bobby said Waste Management doesn't deserve a second chance. I think that a lot of people have felt that way. I don't really know that. I mean, see it on social media. I see people frustrated. I haven't had to deal with it.
Well, at this point, they've expended all of the good grace that they could have been given.
Yeah.
Just from the citizenry and the city itself.
So that's on the agenda for tomorrow night. What other trash are we talking this week, Nathan?
Before we talk more trash, I would like to talk about something good that the Russellville School District did.
I'm just kidding. No.
Because
Good.
we do talk a lot about negatives.
No. And there are good things that are happening.
And we are going to discuss that. And then after that, we talk about that. We can talk trash about the rest
Okay,
of
tell me
school.
the good stuff, and then I'm on deck with the trash. Whenever you're ready.
So last night was the Russellville School Board meeting, and they voted to approve the purchase of charging carts and devices.
I saw that
at Crawford Elementary School, and it was like 300 different. So that's a big deal.
Yeah,
like
it's a lot of money, but yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, that is really cool. Like, Crawford doesn't always get as much support, but just because of like the demographics of the neighborhood, the income
absolutely.
level, like there's a lot of poverty in that district, whatever, So yeah, I think this is really great.
One-to-one technology is a really big deal.
It is a big deal,
and I think that I would assume that part of the reason that they made this was to get them to one-to-one, because all the schools have some technology.
But it was good to see this investment.
Yeah.
In Crawford, and seeing this go on, I think it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, so kudos to the school board for deciding to spend that money in a positive way.
And
to educate the children.
If they need more space to store it, they're buying a very nice building.
They will definitely have enough space. I cannot believe that they did this.
I know.
So in that same meeting, they... because we have added in our school district several positions in the administrative offices, not all the administrative employees can fit in the current administrative buildings. And so they've had to kind of split their administrative employees into two properties, which I would think would be difficult, because every time you got to have a meeting, like, we're just going to walk across the street.
Got to put everybody in the Denali and cruise over to the other office, like,
which is literally across the street. It's a good reason they have that vehicle.
You put the whole office staff in the Denali and go to the other meeting.
I'm gonna get fired. So they want to have office space that is more conducive to their working interaction, and they need bigger space. And they decided to purchase a property that needs minimal restoration, for $1.1 million.
Interesting.
That would probably... I know that the school district needs more nursing staff. They need more mental health staff. They need more teachers.
Shut up, Nathan. They need a new building.
And like...
and then a decorating fund.
Did they approve a decorating fund?
Not yet, but I know that when McDonald moved in, redecorating that office was quite expensive.
Right, but what are they going to do? Are they just going to move it over?
I bet they redecorate. I bet it's all new
because
decorations.
That's a lot. They're just going to...
Yeah.
And like I love Russellville School District. My children go to Russellville School District. Like, why can't they spend that $1 million on, like, not just my kids, like all of the kids and their education? Why do we need another building, Kristen?
Listen, admin is very important.
This is just so depressing. Like, to sit with someone who is a teacher every day and go over, like, the struggles that they deal with, and the support or lack thereof that they may have from their higher ups, or just like the struggle of like what goes on in these children's lives that they have loved and taken as their own, and like, shut up, we gave you $5,000,
Yep. Listen, that million, 1 point whatever million. Remember those Christmas bonuses they couldn't afford?
And I know how municipal budgets work. Like, this money has to be spent for this thing, and that money has to be spent for that thing. Like, so again, like, sure, this came out of some other budget that couldn't be spent on salaries, whatever. but like they got mad at us months ago when we said this is how much money they had, and they were like, we don't have that
we
much
don't have
money.
that money. And now they're like, but we can pay.
We got $1 million for this building.
But we're so broke. Like, don't ask us for a bonus. We're so broke right now. It just kills me. I love it. I love it. No, I mean, and there are good things happening in Russellville. You know, they talked about a lot of good things actually in the school board meeting. You know, it's like we do drag them on some stuff and we give them a hard time because honestly, they bring it on themselves. But there are good things happening. That is true. You know, we did see some good stuff with like technology and growth and stuff in the district. Bobby asked who owned the property. It's
the old Farm Credit Services building on Second Court, kind of behind Millard Henry Clinic back there.
Yeah, on 3115 West Second Court. Yeah, it's the old farm. Yeah, what you said.
Farm Credit Services.
Farm Credit. I was going to say Farm Bureau. I knew that wasn't right. Yep, Farm Credit Services. It's like right over by, there's like some apartments and stuff over there. It's like over where
Veterans Department is there.
There used to be the hospice used to be over there.
Hospice used to be over there.
Okay, so anyways, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Wonder why they didn't look at the hospice for their administrative offices.
Can imagine why.
Anyways, so that's happening with the school district. Let's see what else has been going on.
Oh,
there is. Oh, who decides how their money is appropriated for different uses? That is your elected school board members, Maddie. They get to decide that.
And I would say that admin probably has some,
a lot of influence. Of
like,
course.
hey, I want to do this. Can we spend the money this way? And then also the state, like with the city, we are restricted by state law. So like we cannot spend money for X thing if it goes against state law.
Where there are certain processes, right? And it depends on the source of the revenue and all that good stuff.
And not like breaking the law, like a illegal criminal activity, but like sales tax is split up into multiple different.
Right.
And so I can't spend streets and drainage money on police and fire.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
So I'm sure they have, I don't know what those restrictions are, but I'm sure they have similar restrictions.
Yeah, no, that's true. But the school board does make that decision. Actually, they had a vote last night that they talked about where they kind of gave the superintendent sort of like blanket approval for new hires between now and the next like first day of school.
Well, that sounds safe.
I know, right? Because, like your job is oversight of the superintendent, and like who needs that? But I will say, to be fair to them, that that is something that has been done in previous years, and it is a way to like try to rapidly hire people.
Right, because we don't have enough teachers.
Yes, and people are leaving the profession. Yeah, and so there's nothing wrong with that necessarily.
And not just Russellville doesn't have, like, there's a teacher shortage all across.
Right. And this like need to be able to hire quickly. I mean, this isn't necessarily something new. I think a lot of this comes from, I think we're seeing more and more of this with like the LEARNS Act, where people are leaving the profession, and now it is a more like urgent hiring situation. I did like though that the new board member Joe Sikowski was asking some really good questions about, now does this only apply to new hires, or will this apply to transfers and stipends as well? And he didn't come out really and say it. As I couldn't hear everything, but from what I heard, he didn't like just come right out and say it. But there have been some, I wouldn't say it's even rumors, but there's just been some like discussion floating around about the idea of maybe removing one of the nurses from the middle school complex, and then having just one nurse for that like 5th through 7th grade, where they have had one on each side. And then rerouting some of that money into somebody else's position as like a stipend for mental health services.
Yeah.
And so I think there's some concerns about that, just because we already have districts that don't have nurses, that there is kind of a shortage of school nurses. And so they, they were asking very specifically that it was only new hires. They're like, say it. Yes, apparently it is a big deal within the district that there is this discussion about removing a nurse and then rerouting that funding into someone else. So I think that was the big concern that was happening. I mean, we have really serious things that happen with students in the district where, people have medical issues. They have, seizures. They have people get hurt. My son was playing around in PE and got
every
slammed into a
building needs a
wall
nurse.
and got a concussion.
If we can't afford for every building at our school to have a nurse, then we've got problems.
Yeah.
I don't care. It shouldn't be a question. Every school needs a librarian. The city helps provide funds so that every school district can have a SRO, because we have decided that is important. The safety of our children, the health of our children is important. Every school building needs a counselor. There should only be 24 students per classroom for each teacher. These are things that we can say are great. And if we move this over here to move this over there so that we can treat this like some corporate whatever, we're not hedge fund managers. We're educators. They're educators. So
we ain't shit, Nathan.
I ain't shit. Yeah, that's right.
But they are
they're not
educators.
hedge fund managers. They are educators. And it is their job not to squeeze every ounce of profit, but to squeeze every ounce of excellence out of these students.
Well, here's my question is if we're going to change this up, and we're not going to have a nurse in this building, and instead we're going to have one person who's kind of getting additional salary to work with mental health. And I assume that's for students primarily. Not to say that
I'm sure the teachers too.
Listen. Look, do you know that did you know there are districts, and I know about this from firsthand from a friend in Texas, where teachers are they're being told to file workers' comp claims for mental health challenges that they're experiencing from their job. And so teacher mental health is a very serious issue.
Teacher mental health is Blackwell.
Same. Come sit by me. You should work in politics. Well, you'll fit right in. But but really though, that is important. But also student mental health.
Yes.
It has become a bigger issue. There's a lot more issues with children experiencing mental health challenges. I think some of that isn't necessarily there are more mental health challenges, but there's just more recognition and awareness of it, and so there's treatment at a younger age. Yeah. Instead of when we were kids, they were just being miserable as part of the teenage experience.
The literal curriculum that they're using talks about social, emotional learning. So mental health is important. What if they're talking about SEL stuff and they're they need to speak to somebody about something specific? Right. And the teacher has 20-something other kids. You send them to a mental health professional.
Well, and see, my concern is that if we don't have a nurse in every building, we have one mental health professional maybe for the whole district. How is that really serving the need here? I mean, to me, it seems like you'd be better off having a nurse in every building and giving them additional training and getting them resources so that they can help provide those support services. They can't provide mental health services, but they could help get them referred, help their parents.
Well, not only that, but communication with parents about learning issues. Sometimes learning issues have very little to do with a child's intelligence and very much to do with mental health issues. Whether they're on the spectrum, whether they are neurodivergent, whether they can't read. There's so many issues that have to do with learning that are outside of just, this kid is smart and this kid is not. Their home life. And how do you need someone who can have a conversation with parents and children that is trained to do this. That's not just a teacher.
Yeah. But so I did think in the meeting, it was important that that some of the board members did kind of really make sure that they were clear on understanding what the resolution said about hiring, and to avoid any confusion or misinformation. The resolution did say only new hires.
Only new hires.
It did say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there was no change. They were just kind of pointing it out to say, correct, this is only new hires, right? This is not, they clarified this is not going to be for moving people around, stipends. And they said, yes, that's correct. So it's good to have those kind of eyes on where somebody's like pushing back, asking the right questions.
Right,
It's
and I
nice
mean,
to see.
several of the folks that were elected more recently, like that's something that they, really, the people that voted for them really wanted, like this. We need this kind of.
Right.
So, all right, I think I'm done with my. Because we have like one more thing to talk about.
Do we? I can't even remember.
It's. I want to ask you a question.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay.
So, a couple years ago, in the legislative session, you got invited to speak about how when you were hiring canvassers
Oh God.
from...
I didn't get invited to speak. I got summoned.
I was trying to be nice. So, what kind of law are they going to make now for current canvassers that are basically saying the things that aren't true?
Okay.
Are there rules against it? Because we've seen reports all across of canvassers saying that sign this petition to bring a casino to Pope County.
Okay. I think it's very important that you're like specific with language here, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between saying it's to get it on the ballot to bring a casino or it's getting it on the ballot to decide about a casino
Right.
or like getting a casino issue on the ballot.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a lot of assumption that goes into that. In the same way, I mean, I ran into this exact same situation, right? Where they had recorded me and they presented it like I was telling someone, I'll pay you to like throw your petitions in the trash. And they were like, oh, she's saying throw signed. I'm like, no, it was 7:00 in the morning. She had a stack of blank petitions in her hand. Like, but taking it out of context, right? And so I get like sometimes that happens. And so, I had somebody approach me to sign the casino petition. They said something very similar. It's just about getting it on the ballot. I don't think that that's necessarily violating anything, right?
Gotcha.
Because in the same way that you could say, and people always say this, like, oh, I don't like the abortion initiatives going around. Oh, well, I don't support abortion. Well, you're not voting for it. You're just signing to get it on the ballot to let people vote for it, right? Like that kind of language is very common. And so I think that...
And it's transferable to pretty much any issue.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think that, like, yes, if somebody is blatantly being dishonest, report it to the Secretary of State's election integrity unit. Like, there are steps you can take, but, use some critical thinking to step back and go, like, if I was on the other side of this, if I was on the side that agreed with what they were doing, would I still think they're lying? Right? Like,
oh yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's like, well, that's not what it says. Like, yeah, but they're giving like a little short elevator speech. You have to really be going pretty hard.
Don't cuss out the petitioners.
Be nice to the petitioners. Look, it's hard to make that kind of money if you don't have like for a lot of people, that's a big opportunity. Like making $30, $40 an hour is a big opportunity. And so like, just be nice to people who are trying to do their job. I disagree with them. Like if you want to be mean to somebody, be mean to Hans Stieritz. I support that. But otherwise,
we do not condone being mean to anyone at Sets in the Beard, especially named people on our podcast.
Speak for yourself, Nathan. I'm not saying violence. I'm just saying, if you want to tell somebody to get fucked, like there's your person.
Beep.
That's about the right timing on it, right?
Yes. All right. Well, that's all I had for this evening. We got people mad. We told them some good things.
Oh, wait. We didn't even talk about the fact that the state legislature just decided not to fund the Game and Fish Commission anymore.
Or PBS.
No, they came back on that.
Oh, we did? Okay.
They did fix PBS.
So now they're mad at the Game and Fish Commission?
Yeah, they're mad at the Game and Fish because, like Arkansas doesn't like hunting or fishing, right? Like that's not a thing here in the natural state.
What world are we living in? Are we in an alternate universe?
It's really crazy. It's like they get mad about something.
Aren't Republicans in charge?
Oh, yes.
Don't they like more? I say they, like I'm not anti of those outdoor
No.
things? But
No.
isn't that usually kind of one of their main issues?
You would think so.
Conservatism.
And so they went in hard in the House. It was not the Senate, it was the House. The same group of people that voted against PBS voted and didn't come back and fix it right away. They voted not to fund the Game and Fish Commission after July 1st. They don't have any spending authority. And there's, like 600 employees. Now they're going to come back. They're going to do a special session. They're going to fix it.
They're going to cost taxpayer dollars.
Oh, yeah. We have to pay for them to come back because they threw a hissy fit and didn't do their freaking job. But, and they're like mad because they think the directors shouldn't get a raise. Well, like what happened is last time the director said, I'm not going to take a raise so that my staff can get an increase. Well, he hadn't had a raise. They haven't had a raise since 2018, right? So it's like now it's time for the director to get a raise. And some of the legislators are against that. And so they're just like, screw it, we'll shut down the whole department. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy over there sometimes. That's why I'm just like, I feel like the whole state's on fire sometimes and nobody's even noticing it.
Listen, government sometimes is like the house of petty.
It's real wild.
It blows my mind that people allow.
Yeah. So renew your fishing license before July 1st.
Yeah.
Because you could.
Or don't and just go fishing. What are they going to do?
There ain't gonna be nobody arrested.
Also,
listen,
we do not condone the breaking of laws.
Mary Bentley will roll up and be like, "I'm giving you a personal ticket,
listen,
you're not allowed to watch PBS."
Listen, Mary.
Also, Jason Rapert said that
the library board. He's being discriminated against.
This is the craziest thing. He's like. He's like
the only white male Christian.
I know, I made a TikTok. But he's like, I disagree with them opposing my measure, and so I think we should just eliminate the board, and the state should take it over.
Right,
like I'm
and
like,
put
is
him
this
in charge?
Well, no, they said put Oliva in charge, the Secretary of Ed, But like, what is this thing that is happening in our state government where it's like, if you don't like something that a committee is doing because they're an appointed committee that are there to like make decisions, just get rid of them and take all the power. So like we've done it with the prison board, we've done it with the state election commission. Now we're going to do it with the Game and Fish Commission.
You mean they're not pro small government?
Shocking. It's very shocking.
But that was like their whole thing.
And they don't have any problem with like Sarah Sanders' husband having a personal assistant that gets paid a ridiculous amount of money, but like, oh my God, we can't let the Game and Fish guy get a raise after 6 years. Like, seriously, calm down, people. And they're projecting that we're going to have a huge surplus, so it's not because we can't take care of people or like, protect our wildlife and conservation programs and make sure people can like hunt legally.
Oh God, you're starting to depress me. We need to stop. I'm gonna say it's a revolution wave.
Game and Fish, like any state agency, is required to report annual spending. Failure to do that isn't acceptable, and I'm all for Game and Fish, but not reporting spending leaves a lot of room for error. I haven't seen anything where they like didn't report spending, but I could have missed something. Kind of like what RSD has been doing. Teachers don't like something, they're welcome to leave. I mean, that's one vibe. It's not going well because apparently they're going like, all right, peace, I'm out. Like, bye.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we'll take that.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you can leave.
Like, I won't let the door hit me on the way
bye.
out. Yeah.
Like, yeah. So.
Well, I'm thoroughly depressed. Good job, Kristen. This is the bad place. But we're working hard here in the city of Russellville to make sure that your trash gets picked up.
Local elections matter for that reason.
It does. Also, you're welcome for the entertainment district.
Thank you.
Beer and trash. That's what we're doing. Is that it? Are you done? You have all the things? More comments?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, listen, we really appreciate you guys watching, and we're so excited that you share on these moments with us. Please share this video with all of your friends and let them know what's going on locally, and we will see you guys next week. Ish.